Hi, everyone. This is a brief overview of Chapter 4, and Chapter 4 is focused on rational choice theory. And rational choice theory has been around for quite a while. And as you read through the chapter, I'm sure that you will agree with many theorists that some crimes do, in fact, seem to be quite rational. For example, a bank robbery. That's pretty rational. You've got to plan that out. You've got to, well, if you don't want to get caught and you're a quote good criminal, then you would plan it out. You'd find out when there are fewer people but more cash. You might even find out the layout of the bank. You might find out when cash is delivered or the day that it's picked up. Certainly, some crimes are rational. Insurance fraud tends to be rational. Embezzlement is rational. For most people, would say, yeah, that's rational. You have to plan it out. You think about it. You make a rational choice. You weigh the pros and the cons. But you'll also be challenged in this chapter to consider crimes that maybe are not so rational. For example, murder too. People typically call these crimes of passion. How rational are these really? Often people kill an estranged loved one, and I hesitate to say loved one because if you love somebody, it's hard to imagine you would kill them. But we see those types of crimes, unfortunately, all too frequently, where a person kills his or her or they's estranged partner. Those don't seem very rational. Hate crimes don't seem very rational. I mean, one could argue, well, yes, they're rational because you pick a target and you plan it out. On the other hand, I'm reminded of an old song. I guess most of you will not know it, but the words to it are something like this: people are people, so why should it be that you and I should hate each other so awfully when we've never met? Why should you hate me when you've never met me? And so to me, hate crimes are irrational, but someone else might argue that they are. What about sex crimes? Is prostitution always rational? Some would argue yes, and others may argue not necessarily. So again, drug crimes, drug possessions, uh, people who are arrested for drug crimes, maybe that's not so rational if you're an addict. It's something you do because you're addicted. Your body can't do without it. So again, some might argue that these are not necessarily rational crimes. Hit and run accidents. How rational are people when they, in the moment, decide to drive off and not stop? So anyway, you're going to be challenged to think a little bit about, are all crimes really truly rational? In addition to that, there's a fairly lengthy discussion as well about deterrence theory. Um, and one of the best known forms of deterrence theory is something that we use in the United States. Not all states, but I think it's about 30 right now that are still using capital punishment, or what we call the death penalty. And so I've included a couple videos for you to watch and then to participate in a discussion regarding capital punishment. And you may or may not know this, but back in 2018, California voters had the opportunity to abolish the death penalty and did not. And so we may see that issue on the ballot in 2020. Keep an eye out for that. Certainly, there's also quite a bit of discussion about crime prevention and what we call situational crime prevention. How do we create our spaces in such a way that people who might want to commit a crime might be deterred from committing a crime? So, all in all, it's a pretty interesting chapter, I think. I hope you enjoy it. And the activities that I have created for you in the module. All the assignments, as usual, can be found in the module for this week, for week 4. I will see you next week for the overview of the next chapter. Bye.